Hello, I am Mark Beatty. Someone and another, at some point, a person will be with another person. The two will spend an abundance of time together that will create potential for all the different possible scenarios that could occur between two people. The dominant person, POV, that would be the most alarming is when the occurrence reveals tension. Anger is the most important emotion because of protection. The brain senses something is vulnerable within each of us. The anger allows us to protect ourselves from that vulnerability. The brain is not connecting that anger. It is directed at a relative or somebody the person cares about. The second would be the initiation of intimacy, which the second emotion in the levels of importance. Physicality between two people will act on the attraction and complete the communication with physical contact. This is the next emotion because the brain is aware of reproduction and its importance. The two offset each other to keep a balance. The two emotions, anger and intimacy or admiration or whatever. Okay, and then sadness would be the next one because the brain is aware of loss and what losing will do to the person. And then happiness is the emotion that is not appreciated as much by the brain because when the person is happy, they're safe. And then indifference is also not appreciated by the brain because it is the autopilot mode for people. They get to work and they go on to the next step in the plan. So they just basically do the motions type situation. Of course, these are my opinions. I didn't look this up anywhere. I just thought it up. So, that's basically it. That's all I was thinking about, and I decided to record it. Okay. Well, I would think that most people watching this would understand what I mean. Anger seems to be everybody notices when somebody gets angry, and they notice like they retain that information more because of it's in each of us that anger is an alert or something is wrong, right? So I think that's why that would be so important. Of course, now this is a society supposed to be more civilized, so I mean, it's not expected to be angry in public or stuff like that, or but I mean, people are going to do it anyway. And then let's see, intimacy. I mean, obviously, is basically just for reproduction, which I can relatively agree with. Really, the only reason to be with somebody is to have a child. So, I mean, the love and care stuff is really just to get you to do it. And then sadness. I mean, because, well, I mean, I guess if you don't have the person you love to actually do your part with society, then I guess you kind of feel a loss or an emptiness, and then you and your brain kind of understands that, and I guess it needs you to express it because I guess the brain is still going to retain that until you do. And so it's basically you're backing up production because you're not doing something. So, I mean, you know. And then, let's see, happiness. It knows that, okay, everything seems to be good. Of course, that could be a deception because the person could fool the brain into be happy. But of course, all of these could be a deception to your brain if you really focus on it. But I mean, or, they're all just disguising underlying things. But I mean, that's, a whole bunch of other stuff. So, I mean, subconscious emotions, I guess. Oh, and then indifference. You just, okay, I've done that. I gotta do this now. I guess that's when you become almost like a robot, a programmed version of what you were supposed to be. Can be the easiest because you don't have to deal with the emotions, which are stupid sometimes. I mean, unless you actually need them. And I guess your brain needs to keep you practiced or in shape, kind of. It's like you're in training. So you have to be using all your emotions. So even though indifference seems like the easiest one because you just do, you got your steps, you go through one, you do it, you go to the next one, you go to the next one, and it's like the easiest process. You don't have to deal with the added side effects of other emotions, which is anger. So then I guess you have to deal with either consequences more than likely, because especially now you're going to have to deal with other people reacting, and so you'll be criticized, judged, you may become violent. I mean, it's all these things, right? And then intimacy, you may become, I guess, that's pretty much one thing. You create a child. So unless you do it without creating a child, which seems like a waste. I mean, what's the point? I mean, other than 5 minutes or whatever. I mean, that's kind of a waste of time, honestly. But I mean, people do it. And then now, okay, the social stuff that goes with it, that's different, I guess. I guess that's what you care about. And then but then that brings on sadness when you no longer have that. I mean, do you really want that? I guess it's like some people want that. So I guess they do. And then preferably happiness would be the best one to have. The problem with that is you have a sugar rush type thing where you load up on a bunch of stuff, and so you're happy, and then all of a sudden, for some reason, you're sad. So, and for whatever reason, I guess it is, and it usually works with the other ones. So the indifference seems to keep you balanced, and you don't really have to focus on anything. Of course, you can't bring in any additives. So basically, it's like you're eating a really plain diet that's just plants and, you're just eating the most basic thing possible. But then you decide to bring in some additives that you think makes you happy. But then eventually you go sad or you go intimate. That also creates a sadness because it wasn't the intimacy you wanted. And then you get angry. So it's like, what the, so it's all like a street. Like you're on a street of emotion. And then you got these, and you're just doing the indifference going down the street. And then you just park at your home and then you're there. But then you decide to go get some additives and then you cause all these emotions to come about on your street. I don't really know how else to explain that. I guess, yeah, that's true. Okay, well, hey, this is actually a better idea. I had a plan written out, and it took me 11 minutes. And I don't feel like I've wasted 7 minutes of meaningless speaking. So, I think I'm going to start doing this more often, just writing out what I'm going to say, and then I'm going to repeat it after I've written it, like that. Okay, well, I guess I can stare at the camera for 15 seconds and state it out loud. Okay. Well, okay, thank you. Bye.